Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Mediak. And we are continuing the Zach picked movies this month. As usual, Skylar's over there, Chandler down here, me, Zach over here. And we actually gathered together for this episode. We we didn't want to pay separately, so we all got together and watched the movie. Well, I already said all got together, but you get the gist of it. And Skylar's the only one who basically didn't share his opinion that night, so I'm the most interested to hear what he has to say, because every single time I like to recommend something, Skylar always hates it for some reason. So I'm curious if this kind of continues.
I would like to clarify. I don't only hate Zach's recommendations. Chandler has given
Yeah,
from.
I was just saying, y'all hate my recommendations.
Because I don't just hate Zach's, I also hate Chandler's.
It's been all recommendations thus far.
Ooh.
All been sub, but we'll keep going. Maybe this one changes it. Maybe not. Maybe Zach continues down that dark, slippery slope. Maybe he sees a glimpse of light. Who knows?
I don't. Dark, slippery slope.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Since this is your movie, why don't you give us a quick rundown? Give us the plot.
All right. So there's this young cop and this older cop. Well, actually, they're detectives, not cops. And one of them is like old and grizzled and hates the city for how terrible it is, because it is a really shitty city. And the other one is like optimistic, and he's like, man, I really want to be in this city because I want to be the one that cleans it up, because I think I'm a cool guy. And then they start investigating a serial killer and find out soon they find out that he's following the 7 deadly sins, so like greed, lust, etc. And then eventually they fail in finding him, and then spoilers happen, and then that's all you got to say to summarize the movie, is that there's a serial killer that's going making murders off of the 7 deadly sins, and there's these two cops trying to find it, because you can't really say anything without like massively spoiling.
Spoiling.
Yeah, exactly, the movie, because there's a lot to spoil in this thing, because there's a lot of little twisty turns in it. There's things that happen, fun stuff. And we're probably going to be oh my god, why can't I say that single word?
Don't worry.
I'm just not going
I got
to.
You. From this point on, there will be spoilers. This is your warning. If you only wanted to hear the plot, get out now, come back in a little bit.
7.
But we're gonna kick it off now. Chandler, can you give me a couple things you liked about the movie? Because I know you liked it, and I know Zach liked it.
Wait. I technically, Chandler never 100% said that he liked it. Did you like it?
Verbiage you used, yes.
I loved
You
it.
did.
I thought it was very good.
Okay.
You
did, dude. I'm really sad. Like, I'm really like.
No,
I went
into
into last week. Last week I was like, I know they liked it. This movie slaps. I was like, I know they like Whiplash. And then both you guys were like, it was fine to bad. And I'm like just sitting here sad.
7.5 is not. Hey, 7.5 is pretty decent.
It is pretty good.
That was good.
That is pretty good. That is pretty good. I'm sorry, but like
pretty decent would be like a 5. Well, you were saying like fine, all right would be a 5.
That's fair.
It was not.
Chandler's just.
It was
low. Chandler was like a 6, right? Wasn't it, or something?
Yeah, he gave it like a 6.5 or something.
Yeah, which is upsetting, but what can you do about it? So I cut you off, Chandler. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm scared. I'm really scared. What?
What?
I don't know. Chandler's playing rock paper scissors.
I cut out, so I assumed you guys were going to be playing rock paper scissors. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to.
Oh no, you just started doing
you
it.
Oh really?
Skylar, yeah, no. Me and Skylar were just confused. That was really funny.
On my screen, you both cut out, so I was like, all right, here we go, just waiting till I
dude, your camera was in focus and everything, dude. We caught you in 4K. That was
so
embarrassing.
Funny. I couldn't have done anything. I could have been like,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, bro. All right, Chandler, tell us a little bit about why you love this movie.
Well, I love this movie because it was actually kind of gory or gruesome.
Yeah.
I thought the detail was very good. A little bit like squeamish, like if you're prone to,
especially if you think about it too,
or gore. Yes.
They don't necessarily show a whole lot, but if you think about any of the murders,
show a good bit.
Well, they do show a good bit, but I
guess you are right. Yeah, because they didn't show what was inside the bucket. They just said what was there.
Yeah, and they didn't show any of the murders exactly. They just showed the final corpses usually, and then sometimes they didn't even show the final corpses. They just let you think about what it would look like and showed you how they were killed, and it just was that like it's a movie that if you think about it even a little bit, it just makes you so uncomfortable down to your core.
Yeah. Before Chandler talked about more what he liked. For me to set the scene, Chandler sat straight up, bowl of popcorn in lap.
Just going to town the entire time.
Was I actually going down?
He was immersed.
Yeah.
I honestly did.
It
I
was.
couldn't.
It
I
was
didn't look
immersed.
over at you guys the entire time because I was pretty immersed myself. I really like this movie, which is one of the reasons why I picked it.
You want to know the first thing I wrote down in my notes?
Yep.
Slightly burnt popcorn is underrated. That stuff was fire.
That-
It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
I love that. That's your
It's-
first takeaway of this movie,
Yeah.
Chandler. That's
I
so
had
great.
to remember that because
He
it
was like, "Whoa,
Oh,
this
you said
movie's
the
on."
vibe.
Like, this popcorn is crazy.
Dude,
It was.
Dude, he turns out literally didn't watch the first 30 minutes of the movie. Was just that immersed in fucking going to town in the popcorn.
Bro, I don't even remember the last time I liked popcorn like this.
You're a
All right,
goofy
Chandler,
guy,
get back to your
Chandler.
favorite points.
more things. Whenever Somerset, Detective
Yes.
Somerset, was researching about the 7 deadly sins, he went to the library and there's a bunch of cops like playing poker.
Yeah.
He had like some classical music in the background as he was like researching. I just thought that was very entertaining and just relaxing. It was just very fun.
It was
But,
a pretty
like,
smooth montage.
I think that's where I was fully immersed and I forgot like I was watching a movie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know that feeling when you're like watching a movie
No,
and
I
you have to
get
watch,
it.
you sit back and you're like, whoa, I'm looking at literally a screen and there's life all around me. The reality is all around the screen and I forgot about that.
Yeah,
That's kind of like
I get what you mean. And then following that scene was Mills attempting to read, I think, Dante's Inferno, giving up, and then having a cop give him Dummy's Guide to all of these different
Yeah.
books. It was
Yeah.
so perfect. Their characters are just so their characters, and like not one note. I don't know how to describe it, but like they always are acting the way that they're supposed to be acting, and it's crazy because it lasts all the way up into the end. And if you like rewatch it with the idea that Mills, spoiler one last time, Mills' wrath, it's like holy shit, this is just so fucking obvious. Like it just makes so much sense. It's really fantastic. I really like the way that this movie was written. Peak.
Yeah, I also like how they deliver the line that she was pregnant.
Yeah.
Because
At the end or
Yeah. no, just like during like whenever they go to the diner and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's when you learn she's pregnant because knowing like with only Somerset knowing that at the time I didn't realize like that was going to. I mean, okay, we knew the other detective Mills didn't know that she was trying to keep it hush, but like I didn't realize how crazy that would affect the plot towards the very end whenever
Yeah.
he realizes that
yeah, dude.
she's dead and also is the baby he didn't realize was within her stomach. Like that hit hard and I didn't entirely see that when it happened. So that on the second on rewatch, like I'll appreciate that more.
Also, those scenes are much more important, like emotionally later on, because they're like for humanizing and relating you to the character, so that they can take you
Yeah.
away and kind of make you feel the way that Mills feels at the end of the movie. Because like if we never had the scene where she invites him over at the end, or where she like starts to reach out to him a little bit because she sees that he's like a kinder soul in this terrible city, then we wouldn't really feel all that much at the end when she dies and Mills like
Yes.
cracks.
Yeah.
But you kind of get it at the end because you're like, oh, he really loves her and she's like actually a caring person too.
Mm-hmm.
It's good
Mhm.
shit. It's fantastic.
I also
Exactly.
did those moments whenever they would talk, like just like the conversation moments,
Mhm.
because like there were stages of development, like with the first murder, the second, the third, but like in between those moments, they had some really genuine and like kind of like intimate conversations, like whenever Somerset got invited for dinner, over to dinner,
Yeah,
or
they're
they-
talking about the housing and stuff.
Yeah, I just thought that those conversations were really real.
Yeah.
You know, like it didn't feel scripted, especially his laugh. I think I might have wrote down somewhere. I liked Somerset just laughing about the train. That was like he was just like
Like,
in your
it's so
face.
stupid, you know? Like, you gotta laugh at that because it was clear
Yeah.
that they were upset about it. So, like, in that situation, you just gotta live with it. So sometimes you just gotta laugh. It's great, especially in that terrible ass city. Which, like, if you've ever watched a video essay on this movie at all, they always talk about like, oh, the city is a character itself. But like, I feel like it's pretty obvious that in every single scene, you hear some sort of sound of the city where it's like cops are driving and there's an ambulance going by or gunshots are going like that, and it just really helps to immerse you a little bit more and showcase how absolutely terrible the city is. And honestly, it builds into how, yeah, I don't want to get into that yet actually, because I want to hear Skylar's opinion because he's been silent and he's been dodging it for about a week now. What did you think?
I was gonna wait until the end, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
No,
But
I want to hear it now. We're not doing that this
I
time.
did like it.
You did like it?
I did like it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I love a good murder mystery, man.
Yeah, I do too. And I was surprised that. Well, I was gonna ask you what your favorite parts were first, because I wanted to see if you said like what I really liked.
Okay.
But I really liked the chase scene with like them kicking down the
Yeah.
like getting ready to kick down the door. Like that chase scene was fantastic, and like it felt like really real. And then like the killer was like gone, and you're like, oh, he got away. And then all of a sudden, and it
hit him. Yeah.
it hits Mills. Yeah, it hits Mills and knocks him out, and Somerset finds him. And then how that plays into the end, he's like, by the way, you're only alive because I let you live.
Yeah.
He's like, I could have killed you.
But
he's like, but I wanted you alive.
But that
So,
that
you're
adds
alive
into the theme
because of it.
of how terrible the city is. That's my favorite. That's literally my favorite part about the movie is that at the end of the day, we're getting into it. Sorry, I didn't want to talk about it until later. He's kind of right, you know? Like,
He's right.
well, he did, obviously his murders weren't right, but like the city was terrible.
I thought you meant like him saying, I let you live.
Oh
You're
yeah,
alive
that's
because I let
100%
you
right.
live." I was like, that's 100% a fact.
No, without a
Like, he
doubt.
didn't know it was.
I meant like John Doe. Like the reason why he was doing it because the city's fucked and they needed to either like change for the better or they were just going to continue down that path. And we at the end of the movie, Chandler was talking about how he wants a sequel to this, even though it's like over 25 years on. But we were talking about like what the sequel would look like, and he said it would be like a trial, and I said no, I think it would be more interesting if it was just Mills being a cop again, because then that would prove John Doe 100% right, because then he just gets let go because he just killed a serial killer. It's no biggie. It doesn't even matter. It's just another day there. Like I think that just would make so much sense for the story in the way that the actual like city is shown, because it's a shithole like through and through, because the cops the only thing they live for is putting on the vests and getting into those cars and the helicopter and flying and looking really cool, not actually doing anything like they showcase at the beginning. Sorry.
I think what the theoretical sequel, I think it should start out with a trial, but I think the
That'd be
entire
cool.
time it should be a corrupt trial. Like the entire time they're getting everybody that was related with the case, and they're just bashing the killer, being like, oh yeah, he should have, he was insane, he probably did this, he probably did that. Corrupt through and through. And then it goes straight into the him being back.
That's called
doing the
Joker
same
too,
thing.
Skylar.
Yeah, it worked pretty well the first time. I'd like to
Sure.
see it again.
True.
I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking trial for the sequel. I was thinking, what if he becomes that murderer, the serial killer?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
goes
He
to
becomes the
series,
next
like-
one.
I thought
Yeah,
you said
I
something
mean,
about redemption last time.
Yeah.
Well,
he's-
that's what you like. Whenever you said he becomes a cop, I was like, oh, like a redemption story. But I was trying to pivot off of what you were saying.
It would be
also.
so much better to see him decline, without a doubt.
He's like,
But yeah,
yeah,
what-
he's right.
But I don't know
And
if he became like the new serial killer. Like that would literally just be a carbon copy, and then like
No, it wouldn't be a carbon copy, because what if he just was like, he was the cop that just killed people on a whim always and got away with it, because he could just be like, oh, I killed that serial killer. He was just another serial killer. I just know what serial killers are, you know? He could have done something like that. I think that would be an interesting thing to go down. But then it wouldn't be a murder mystery, you know? I think if they're going to make another one, I guess it
If
could.
he had
I
like
guess
his
it could
incentive,
be.
he's like, "What you're doing is wrong," and they like keep bringing it up, and he's like, I had to," but then you find out he's like putting himself in these situations
Yeah,
where he has to.
yeah.
But I feel
But
like
then
if
I
he's
would
a
have
cop,
guessed it.
if he's a cop though, it's gonna be it would be weird. Like there'd be some weird situations where you like loopholes or weak points of the law. I don't know.
There might be,
I don't know.
I'm just
but
like literally getting like flashbacks of Den of Thieves where at the very end, like we're supposed to accept that one like like how they
You're
getting
just supposed to be
flashbacks.
like, yeah, this is fine, even though it
Oh.
literally makes no sense for what
I feel
happened
like
in the rest of the movie.
issues that he was the cop. I feel like something like that.
Um.
Anything else you
Okay.
want to say, Scott?
Yeah, I'm pulling up my notes. I said the ending was kind of a little unsatisfying. Just the one shot to the head, and that was it.
He shot him
Like
like
I
5
really,
times.
yeah, but like I meant like the one killed him, and then he was done.
Yeah.
Like I thought he was gonna like beat him to a pulp, like first, and then like the killer was gonna keep laughing and like laughing at him,
That's fair.
being like, "You're losing. You're actually losing." And
Well,
then
I think at that point, then it's unrealistic because, like, if he's beating him and the guy's laughing at him, I feel like then he'll eventually, because he didn't want to kill him. He like knew, he 100% knew in that moment that he did it. It had to be a split-second thing, and the second he pulled the trigger, he was like, "Fuck it, it's already done." Bam, 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 bam.
yeah.
I understand that would be definitely more interesting and like fun to watch, but I think the way that it happened was the way that it would make the most sense.
And then I also wanted to see like what happened like after, like a little after, maybe like the next 5 minutes,
That's fair.
maybe
I love
5-10 minutes. Yeah, just to see like
picture
what happened to Somerset, what happened to the killer, what if like if he ever got to actually see his wife.
What do you think Somerset happened? What do you think
What
happened to
happened?
Somerset? Sorry.
I don't know. I imagine he just tackled Mills and called police.
No,
I
no,
guess
no.
other
I
police.
meant. Oh, you meant like specifically that moment, not like the rest of the movie.
Yeah, like what specifically happened like 5 minutes after that moment.
Oh, okay. Never mind. I thought you meant like how much was left in the movie, and I was like, oh no, I like where the movie ended because there's a couple questions and you can answer them based off of information you have previously throughout the movie. But I do get what you mean there. I do wish we saw a tiny bit more of that because,
Yeah,
like,
a tiny bit more.
Because they should have had a conversation, like Mills and Somerset after everything they went through in the movie. They should have talked one more time.
Yeah.
At least in my opinion,
Yeah.
I think that would have been really interesting to see.
And then I also talked about the foreshadowing in this movie is absolutely ridiculous.
It's on a different scale.
Yeah, like obviously they foreshadowed about Mills and his emotions, him going crazy. Obviously that was brought full circle.
But they played it as
And
a
then-
joke too, with
Yeah,
the
they
scene of
did
him
play-
kicking down the door.
Yeah.
So good.
And then what else was there? Like the photographer being the killer at the end and Somerset being wrong. But like let him go. He's
Yeah,
probably supposed to be here and Mills still hits him, gets a shot, and then they find it.
that's
Um,
crazy. What a great movie.
Yeah, it was just very well written, and there are lots
It
of
was.
intricate details that actually meant something, and they weren't just random details thrown in to be like, "Oh, look at this, look at that." Like they actually did something.
And I think that is the most important part when making some sort of murder mystery movie or some sort of like Sherlock Holmes-esque story, because what's the point of doing it if you can't figure it out, Like,
Yeah.
I understand that some writers will feel insecure if someone figures out what's happening in the movie before it happens, but those people that do figure it out, they like the satisfaction of being right, So just let it happen. It doesn't matter if someone can figure it out. That's the point of it, And it makes rewatches better for people who don't care about that kind of shit, because then they're like, oh, dude, I noticed that, but I didn't notice it last time. It's awesome. That's the point. I'm talking about the movie series that me and Chandler talk about being a really bad murder mystery series. The Murder on the Orient Express series. What is it? Is that what are they called?
Yeah. That's I don't know what the franchise is, but it's like Death on the Nile,
Yeah, that.
and whatever the one in Venice is, I don't know what that one's
I don't
called.
know, but I really like Knives Out and Glass Onion. They're good murder
Yeah, those are
mysteries.
fun.
Very fire.
Those are
And the
good
Sherlock
murder
Holmes
mysteries.
books are
Well,
pretty good.
take on murder mysteries.
And the two Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies are pretty good too. But those aren't really murder mysteries. They're just fun.
I have a couple more things to say that I like about the film.
Yeah, dude,
Or,
go
or
at
sorry,
it.
Scott. You want to go?
Go for it.
Oh, I thought, okay. Three things actually. So this I can't entirely remember where this is from, but do you remember whenever Somerset was talking to Mills, just saying like what the day-to-day task of a detective is literally just maybe filing things that may never be used ever again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because like when's the chance a case is going to be brought up. I can't remember much about it, but I just remember it was deep. Whatever it was deep.
But
and it kind of hit.
That's also true and adds into John Doe's point itself because like there really isn't ever a point, and even the best cop himself, which is Somerset, recognizes that it just doesn't matter. It's useless. But he just keeps going at it because he's just him. He's like the embodiment of good. He's the sun.
And you never know. It could be used any day. It could be used on a rainy day.
Maybe.
They do,
but they didn't. But it wasn't because they didn't use any of the evidence they found. Well, they just got John Doe because he walked inside of the door.
Yeah, but just for any other case, you know.
Maybe, but not that we know of.
Something could be brought back. Well, yeah.
Also, the cops don't care enough. Do you remember at the beginning they didn't even check if the guy was dead or not? He just said if he was dead, if he wasn't dead, he would have stood up or something like that.
Yeah, he wouldn't be like sitting in all of his shit still.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So the cops definitely don't care enough to like look into that kind of evidence. The detectives just kind of get it, and then it just stays there rotting.
Speaking of rotting, there's that zombie, bro. The guy that was still alive on the bed.
That was fucked.
That was
that's one of the most fucked up ones in the entire thing.
Yeah, bro, was chained for a year.
A year, yeah.
He bit his tongue off.
Dude, imagine how much pain he'd be in until his brain turned to mush and he no longer felt things. Like, Jesus. Yeah. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's the real horror of this movie is thinking about the ways that he murdered these people. It's just so unbelievably
you saw the trauma that the one guy had with the he had like the gun to his face and he had raped the one lady.
Oh yeah, that was fucked. I didn't think that guy was the best actor, but that situation is just really like it's just that word fucked. It's just gross. It's like really insanely disgusting. That's probably. I don't.
You saw his reaction. He was freaking out. Like he was traumatized.
Well, it is one of the outright most like grossest parts of that movie, like without a doubt.
Yeah, this antagonist was a real villain. Like he was, like, when I say good, I don't mean like good, but like he fit the role extremely well.
It really sucks. It's another one of those movies that it just really, it really makes you be like, man, why the fuck did he have to be a bad guy? You know, like it because you want to be like, oh, it was really good acting, but then you feel bad because you're complimenting a terrible person. But it objectively is good acting. He really just makes you uncomfortable whenever he talks as John Doe. It's really insane.
Mm-hmm.
He might be pulling from real life experiences, so maybe that's the reason why he makes you feel that uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, I learned a thing about that night about that actor, so perhaps.
Me too.
Wait, did you not know that before?
I did not know that.
Oh yeah, Kevin Spacey. Well, he didn't murder. What did I tell you?
What? You said he was a pedo.
Oh yeah, he's a pedo. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
End of story. But there's a lot. I'm not excusing that. I'm just saying there is a lot objectively, and all of them are horrible.
Yeah.
Objectively.
But he was a good villain. He was a very good villain.
He was.
Leslie.
Good.
Okay. This is one thing when you were talking about breaking down the door. Somerset was warning him. Like I would like in most movies, 99% of movies they break down that door without a second thought. But Somerset was like, "We need a warrant. we got this information. We got a lead that was illegal. You know, everyone would have forgotten about that. Everyone would have been inside that room. But he was like, no, we didn't get here via verified methods. So I thought that was very smart. That was smart.
I think that
It's
even
too
better
bad that
part. Go ahead.
it would have been smart. It's too bad his partner didn't listen.
Yeah.
But like
But I think
yeah,
the
it was
better
smart.
I think the better part about that scene is that not only was it like smart that that happened, but also that any other cop in that universe also would not give a fuck because none of the cops care. None of them did. Like he kicked down the door and nothing happened from it. Somerset is just the sole pure being that he was actually going and doing that. It's not just well written, but it's like a character thing too. It's so beautiful. Really great characters in this movie.
Yeah. I feel like that sort of attention to detail is like that one Christmas movie, Violent
Night,
where
yeah.
I'm not
Yeah, with
warm, like
the suppressor, yeah.
a detail like that could have been overlooked.
I still think
But
that's crazy. Like that's one of the most insane things in movies. Small rant. It's gonna be 30 seconds. That the James Bond movie didn't realize that, but the stupid Santa Claus movie did. Like that's wild to me. But whatever. Okay, back to the movie. What were you saying, Jan?
no, that's it. That's all three things.
Skylar, what else
that I
were you
think-
gonna say about this movie?
I don't really think I had much else. I was gonna ask you what parts you liked because me and Chandler talked about what we really liked, but you never talked about like super specifics other than just whatever we were talking about.
Yeah, I also kind of like cut you off and talked about shit that I liked about it. There was just like kind of, a lot of the scenes that you guys talked about, I also talked about. Something that I didn't like about it because I did already. I'm trying not to be rude and take so much time because I've already interrupted Skylar and Chandler like 40 times this episode, but I didn't like the chase scene all that much. I liked the scenes. Hey, I'm sorry. I liked each separate scene of Somerset going and Mills running against him, but I felt like sometimes whenever they intercut them, it made it feel a little confusing, like what point of view we were seeing at certain moments. But I thought that the themes of that were really good. I thought that had the best cinematic moment in the entire movie, like when the guy held the gun down and it just had like the rain beating down on it. It was the best shot in the movie in my opinion. That was really great, but I just thought that it was a little it was a little cluttered at certain bits whenever it jumped around there, at least in my opinion. I really loved Mills' like outfit. I said that that kind of fit and the John Constantine kind of fit and the Doctor Who kind of fit. Those are just like that's what I want. That's what I aspire to be. But Doctor Who with a cigarette is specifically because the other two characters already have a cigarette, so I don't have to put that into those. But yeah, that kind of vibe is what I would like to be whenever I grow up. And also I just like a noir thing. That's the last thing I wrote on my notes. I was just like, man, we need more noir type movies and more mystery noir specifically. And I hope that's what the Spider-Man noir thing is. Because like, what if it is that? That'd be sweet. The Spider-Man noir comic is pretty dark as fuck. So like, maybe they go into that a little bit. But we didn't talk about the end very much other than like vague moments about it, but I think that scene of Mills just like going back and forth and like screaming, "What's in the box?" Like it's so desperate because he fucking knows. He knows for a fact like what it is, and it just is so sad. And that moment where Somerset is opening the box and then like his reaction is just pure. Like, and then he realizes that it's what is all going on. He puts it together and who is the last two bodies, and it's just so fucking good, and everything comes together, even though it would be nice to see a little bit more of it.
Yeah, but the taxi scene driving there,
Mm-hmm.
that is one thing I did not like. That was an excessively
You
long
didn't like
car
that?
ride.
Well, the car
I
ride
didn't like
was
how
long, but I
long
like
it was.
that
I liked
talk.
the car ride. It was just way too long. Too many like overhead shots of them
Yeah.
just driving.
That's super fair. I think they could have shown how they wanted to show how far John wanted to be away from them, and honestly, kind of just drive aimlessly until Se7en. But he just wanted to be away so they couldn't interfere with anything. It's good shit. I do get where you're coming from, because they kind of got the point with the car ride and him talking in it, because he talks for a very long time. You kind of get the idea of it. Didn't need as many overhead shots.
Yeah, but the conversations in the car were really good because Mills was starting to get off track, more like hateful, and Somerset would be like, "So, what did you mean by that?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
And
really
he kinda
funny
like-
seeing Somerset being like kind of proven wrong at certain moments, and he just didn't have any retort other than "You're crazy." And
Yeah.
it was good. I love that. Or did I say Somerset? I meant Mills. If I said Somerset.
Yeah,
You did say.
I think I got what you meant.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I got what you meant.
Yeah. And everyone watching understood what I meant too, so it's okay. We love that.
Clearly.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
right now.
All right. Do we want to jump into numbers, and then we could go into the news segment, and then the
One more
What We're
thing.
Watching segment? Okay. Okay.
We gotta talk about that parking.
The what?
Remember all those police cars?
Oh, the
just, like,
parking on the
parking
street. Yeah,
side
that
of
was
the street?
insane. No car was faced the same way.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, dude. I think that was done on purpose to show, like, just how, attention to
They
detail on
don't
how
give a fuck.
shitty the city is. Because, like, they don't care. No one cares. There's a scene in the movie, for context, in which they're walking outside of a police station, and in the lot, every single car was parked at a different angle. And it was, like, a fucked up angle, and it was dope as hell.
It looked like the parking in my neighborhood, bro.
Very obscure reference, but we love that, bro.
Just throwing shade at all my neighbors here.
Throwing shade at them. All of Chandler's neighbors who are listening on the podcast, they're going to be upset right now. 32 minutes in.
I actually have like I should make an album, but I have a collection of photos of people that don't park the right way.
That's
sitting in
actually
my camera
hilarious.
roll.
We love that.
Make an album. Okay. All right. That was it. That's all.
Okay, I want to hear
Okay.
Skylar's number first. Skylar gave guesses on both of ours, so he has to
Yeah.
wait to hear them. We have to hear his first.
Okay, just so everybody knows. But I guess Chandler had a 9 and Zach had a 9.5.
Yeah, something like that.
I gave this movie an 8.5 out of 10.
I also I want to say that I'm not changing my number. Like, if my number is different than Skylar's guess, I'm not doing it for the sake of being different.
He's lying.
Okay.
He's doing it for the sake of
Change
being
this answer.
Okay.
He did just change it.
That's not fucking true at all.
What was it?
You
I
just
would definitely rate this movie
Right now.
really high.
His eyes.
But
He's changing it.
and I would watch this again like relatively soon. I do want to watch this movie with Lily because I think she would like it more than I probably would. There was just like some like bits that were like, they were fine. Like, could they've been a little bit like more exciting, a little bit more this?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple. Not like anything too insane. It's really hard for me to give a murder mystery like a 10 out of 10. Like,
Yeah,
I would
I
watch
get
it all the time. Because eventually it will hit a point where it's like, I'm not going to get anything new.
I think you're
Like, I'm
really
not
gonna
gonna learn
like
anything.
Knives Out.
Who knows? But
TBD.
yeah. But I'll stick this one at an 8.5.
That is fair.
Solid.
Chandler,
Solid.
do you want to go first or me?
How about you go last? This
Okay.
is your move.
Okay. That's fair.
Savor your number.
That's fair.
I was a 9. You were on the money with that guess.
Ayo.
My only complaint is that it was filmed pre-2010.
What the
Oh,
fuck does that
Chandler.
mean? Like, I think that grain is like something
just-
sick about the movie. I think that really makes it cooler.
He was making a meme. He was
Yeah.
making a meme out of you.
Making it a little funny. It's
That's
a little
fair.
funny.
That's
yeah.
fair. Is that your
I-
actually only complaint?
No, that wasn't a complaint.
Okay.
I don't have any really complaints, but it was very good. I don't have actually anything negative. I don't even think I wrote anything down. But I don't know. It's just not a 10 for me, but it was still very solid. Deserves an N.
Zach?
Okay. So, I think the end, which is always there's a couple things I'm carrying over between all of the movies that I think is very important. The end is amazing. I wouldn't change anything crucial about the end. I think it's fantastic. I think the mystery is insanely enjoyable. I think it is a very enjoyable movie. I think the story is really well written, but I think the cinematography lacks a little bit, just a tiny bit. I think that the acting really carries the scenes when I think the camera should be used as like a bit of an art form itself. And I thought a lot of the scenes were a little basic. Not every scene, obviously. There's a lot of really, really well placed scenes, but it just kind of wasn't as interesting as a lot of other movies I've seen that are more like dialogue focused, especially like after watching Whiplash last week, because there's a lot more to the scene when you make the camera feel different or like weird or something like that. And this movie didn't really do that a whole lot. It's an 8.5. Really fantastic movie. I love it. And it's one of those movies that like it feels like a 10 right when you end it, and then whenever you like settle on it a bit, I promise I wasn't at like a 10 right whenever. I've seen the movie before. I had a pretty decent idea of what it would be going into it. And Skylar, I pinky promise I didn't change it. I was always at an 8.5.
Why?
You're right. 100% am. But yeah, I don't think this movie is nearly perfect, but I do think this movie is amazing, and I love it, and I'm happy we rewatched it. I rewatched it. I'm happy we watched it together. It was great.
I should have just kept my original guess of my answer for you. I should have. I kept moving it up.
Was that your
and just
original
waiting
guess?
to talk about it. Yeah.
Was it an 8.5?
And I
I
kept
didn't
moving it up.
remember.
And I kept moving it up.
That's fair, because we
Yeah.
talked about it, and it's a really great movie. I just don't like some of it's kind of gross, and like that is kind of off-putting. Like I'm probably not going to watch it for the next couple weeks, but maybe I do relatively soon. It's a good movie.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe you do next week, and you're like, man, Skylar was right.
Yeah,
Was
Skylar
it?
was right. Then I'll amend it on the podcast live. All right.
What's probably? Oh, I'm just gonna assume that our like Mediak rating is like an 8.5 then, because
Something
two of them
like
are
that.
at
Yeah.
8.5. One of them's at 9.
If you want to round up to a whole number, it's closer to a 9.
So Chandler wants to be the Mediak.
he wants to take the majority.
Yeah, he wants to take the majority.
No, we're gonna do 8.5 for this one. That's the Mediac rating. Sorry, Chan.
Alas.
We're overriding. Okay, I'm gonna jump in the news, and we're gonna do it quick because we have to make this a relatively shorter podcast. Because we're all relatively busy boys.
X Games.
What?
I say we have to go X Games.
True. There's a very intense piece of news I'm going to talk about last. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is something actually hot off the press. This is something I got literally 5 minutes before playing Marvel Rivals with Chandler, and then about a minute after Marvel Rivals we started recording this. So it's pretty fresh. Kendrick Lamar is apparently working on a live-action comedy with the people who made South Park, Trey Parker and Matt Stone, which is pretty sick. They said I've never seen a script so fire.
Did you say Kendrick Lamar?
Yeah.
Bro, this is gonna be a diss at Drake somehow.
Maybe
100%.
I don't know. It's gonna be crazy.
100%.
I that halftime show is awesome. I only watched the first half of the game
real quick,
because
can we
I
talk
thought it was
about that?
boring.
It's okay if we talk about that?
Yeah, I don't. Why not?
With media.
It is media.
I love that halftime show. I thought it was
awesome.
fun.
So
And I love the
sick.
choreography.
So
But
cinematic.
man, do a lot of people hate that. A lot of
It's
people
so
hate it.
cinematic. A lot of people do hate it though. Yeah.
So many people hate it. I went to work, and I was kind of glazing it, and I wasn't getting. They weren't reciprocating.
Yeah.
They were not. They were not fans. I think a lot of them are saying that there's like a political agenda, and that they're Drake stands. Maybe I don't know, but
That's
yeah,
funny.
it's tough.
It
I
was
was scroll
great.
through Instagram, seeing a post of it, and it's just something like, why did they bring Drake into this? Yada yada that. Like, everyone missed the point.
Yeah, and also he had to do that song because like that's the popular song, and also
Mm-hmm.
the way he
The
teased
delivery.
it was so
Oh.
good, dude. It was so good, and then the perfectly timed turn and smile at the camera.
Drake.
Right?
It's so good. It was peak.
Yeah, he's like,
That was peak. Hey
Drake.
Drake, I heard you like I'm young.
Oh,
It's so good, bro. It's so peak. All right,
Yeah.
okay. We did you guys want to say
Mention
anything
done.
else about that before I move into the next news? Okay, cool.
I have
PlayStation
news
was
as well.
what? You have news?
I have news. Yes.
Oh, okay. PlayStation was down for an entire day, 24 hours, And in response, Sony is offering free PlayStation Plus for 5 whole days. I don't know how you redeem it.
Bro, 5 days?
I know
No
it's
way.
crazy.
Yeah, after my subscription auto renews.
Yeah, honestly.
Dude.
Like, this is honestly not really a whole lot. Because back in 2011, I know it was for like 20-something days, but they got an entire free game. I honestly, this is going to sound stupid because it's probably worth more than $5, but I probably would have just rather had $5 on
Me too.
my PlayStation account, you know?
Wait,
Yeah,
the
but that'd be
5
so
days?
much money they actually have to give out.
Yeah, they're
No,
giving it.
those are like $1 because it's $80 for the essential, split of 365 days. So whatever that ratio is,
I
it's
don't
like
know.
5 days of PS Plus is $1. I swear,
Yeah,
it's like
they. Well, okay. I guess they're not really giving out anything then. That's
no,
whatever.
not at all.
Whatever. I mean, I guess
Well-
you could make the argument, oh, it was only a day, but also their audience is so much larger now that losing PlayStation for a day, that cuts off so much. That's an entire night that someone reserved that they couldn't just do
You know what it
jack
also
shit.
cuts off? It cuts off games that don't require
Yep.
you to be online.
Yeah,
Like
yeah. I was
that.
just about to say that, which is
They need
crazy.
to figure that out because what's the point of an offline game if I need it?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was just about to get into because that really fucks up everything. Because I've been buying this hard copy games from now on because I was like, oh, what if something happens and I lose my PSN? I can't play these games anymore. But like, apparently not. If I have a PlayStation, I can't play this thing offline at all, no matter what games I'm playing. That doesn't make any sense. It's ridiculous.
It's so
stupid.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's stupid. I hate the way that like this is going. Whatever.
Yeah.
All right. The Night Agent Season 3 just started production right now, which is pretty awesome because Season 2 just came out like a couple days ago. So they're already jumping in, which means that Season 2 must be getting pretty popular, which is awesome because I like Season 1. All right, next news. This is Lego related. We got some Lego leaks. Chandler, did you hear about this?
No.
Okay, so these are the possible sets for the One Piece Lego kits. So it's called Party's Bar. I don't know what that is, but it's 301 pieces and $30. Buggy's Circus, 537 pieces, $50. Arlong Park, 926 pieces, $80. Going Merry, 1,376 pieces, 1,300. Sorry, yeah, wait. $130. 1,300 would be insane. You think that's not worth it?
I don't like that price. Wait, what comes with it? Did it say any minifigures?
No, it didn't say minifigures. I just have sets.
There
And then
better be like
Baratier, which is 3,402 pieces at $300.
Dang, they're going X Games mode on this. I said I wouldn't expect more than 3 sets, and I think you just listed 5.
Yep, and then
Cool.
they said there are 6 more coming in 2026. But this is just a leak. It's not. I don't know if it's true. I'm not super into the Lego community. I'm in the One Piece community, so this is
I'm on a
not
Discord
super
page that
reputable.
posts leaks. Let me see if they said anything.
Okay, while you do that, I'm going to keep going with the news. Robert Edgers talked a little bit about his new movie, Werewolf. He said it is the darkest thing he's ever written by far, which is interesting. I hope it's not horny. That's the one thing I'm asking for this time around. That would be great.
I would like a break. It's been a little too much.
Yeah, I'd be okay without it. Something pretty awesome, which is Scott Snyder posted something pretty newsworthy. Scott Snyder is a great, I think he's an author and illustrator of comics. He has made probably stuff that both of you guys have read before. But one thing that he wrote recently was Absolute Batman, which has remained at #1 best-selling title for 4 months in a row still, which is fucking awesome. That's so cool. I think it's really great. Absolute Batman's pretty awesome. I really like the new take on Batman. I think it's really interesting. I think the entire Absolute universe is super interesting because it takes away the things that people commonly think are like synonymous with the hero and shows them that they're not like Batman's not his money, and Wonder Woman's from hell or something like that. It's like crazy. It's really great. The absolute universe is awesome. I love it so far.
Look into that.
You should. So Will Forte, I think we talked about Coyote versus Acme last week a little bit, but Will Forte talked about it a little bit. He said it is fucking bullshit that they shelved the movie for $30 million, which it's a tax write-off. It's stupid. But he used the quote, "It's fucking bullshit," which is cool. It's always nice hearing actors talk shit on companies, especially whenever they do really terrible things like that, especially for good movies. Like, that's a good movie, apparently. It never tested bad, and every actor in it said it's amazing. And I know every actor in it is going to say it's amazing, but, like...
Yeah, they're not going to go, this thing's garbage.
Well, yeah, but it tested well. Like, Batgirl didn't test well, and they canned that. So, like, you could have an argument that'd be like, oh, it didn't test well, so it's okay they canceled it. I don't think they should have canceled it, because if they've already made a movie, just fucking release it. But, like, with Acme versus Coyote versus Acme, it tested well. And it was done. So just fucking release it. It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever.
Yeah, there is always a chance that will be somebody's favorite movie.
Yeah, true. Well, no matter what, every movie is someone's favorite movie.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. They're missing that. They're missing out on that one.
Large numbers.
Yeah. Something else that was just announced was we're getting a live-action Gundam movie on Netflix, directed by Jim Mickle. I think that's a fake name. Sorry. He's the guy who developed Sweet Tooth a little bit, and he's writing and directing this movie. And I just think he's a funny name. Sorry, Jim Mickle. Next news, James Mangold is directing a Swamp Thing movie. He's the guy who did Logan and also Ford versus Ferrari and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. And this is what he said about it. He said, "While I'm sure DC views Swamp Thing as a franchise, I would be viewing it as a very simple, clean, gothic horror movie about this man monster, just doing my own thing with this, just a standalone thing," which is a good thing to hear. So I had a feeling that this was going to be one of those things that's just like genuinely good, because why would they be making another Swamp Thing movie if it wasn't like actually good? I mean, I guess you could say like, oh, I know the last like 2 or 3 Swamp Thing adaptations were kind of shit, but at least people technically know the name. But I don't think they'd be rolling the dice with that if it wasn't good. I feel that way with Clayface too. All right. Wait, did you see anything on the Lego thing?
No, I couldn't find anything.
Okay. We'll think that's canon until it's not. Believe that fake news until told otherwise.
Did you see that one of the Legos was 3,000 pieces?
Yes.
Damn.
Why?
I never would have thought they'd have made a $300 Lego set. I would not have thought. Like on the first wave.
Again, it
usually
could be fake
test
news.
the waters. It could be fake news.
Could be fake news.
It didn't come. Never mind.
You want to hear something else that might be fake news?
But maybe I shouldn't have made that.
The other thing that might be fake. I honestly could totally see this happen. Marvel is considering bringing Jonathan Majors back as Kang, and I'm guessing it's to just kill him off. Probably, especially since they're like moving into the Doom thing, and they already casted Robert Downey Jr., so like they can't back down on that. So they're probably just gonna bring him back to murder him.
Doom's gonna stroll and be like, "Hold my beer," and then Ken
and just shove his hand through him, rip his head out. Simu Liu pushed to make a Sleeping Dogs movie, which is a video game. I don't actually know anything about it, but he is super hype and super into this. Like, I'm getting this news from him. That's how hype he is in this, because he posted about it on Instagram and was going all over the place about it because he's so passionate about making this project. Huh?
Who's you said who?
The Shang-Chi guy.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Like, how did he start then? Okay,
so he's one of the things that he himself posted was that he hopes that the game actually gets a sequel because of how good the movie is. So like, I have interest in that. Like, and maybe if the movie's good enough, I'll play the game too. I just hope it. Like, I don't know what to think because I don't know anything about the game. But I'm interested in it because it's always fun seeing things that people are passionate about. You know? Ooh, yes. final news, final big news. Do you want to say your news first? I think it might be the same
Sure,
news.
sure. Wait, no. What I have
I
is
think it's the
nothing.
same news because we talked
Really?
about it. Go ahead.
No. This is different. I found about this today.
Okay.
Um, there's a new a new Batman game in the works,
Yeah, I did know about that actually,
but
and
it's like years out.
yeah, many years out. They just started it because they released the VR version, which apparently is actually the best one, but no one's gonna play it because it's VR. I mean, Skylar could play it. Skylar could play the Batman game. Yeah, it's apparently one of the best Batman games, Skylar.
So I'm not really looking forward to it much.
It's out already. You could play it.
Yeah, probably won't.
Do you just not like
can't wait
VR
till
VR?
VR gets so
It
good.
like so since I have like more schoolwork now and I'm
Mhm.
staring at my screen longer, I get like headaches.
Ah.
And if I were to do that, I'm gonna get really bad headaches. My eyes are gonna like burn.
Yeah,
So like I've
don't
been
do that.
trying to like push it off until
You
like
know,
I
you
can
know what we
calm down
should
a little
do?
bit.
Huh.
If you're willing, Scott, if we ever hang out, I will pay for the game. We should play Keep Talking and No One Explodes, and if we can use your VR headset.
We could stream that.
That would be so much fun. But it has to be like an in-person, like everyone has to use
Yeah,
the
no, we could
camera.
all just come to the Mediak room and we could stream it.
Yeah. That would be
Correct.
so much fun.
I do think
That
that'd
would
be
be
fun.
fun.
That's something we could do in the future. We could arrange that one Thursday or one Friday or something like that. My news is that we might be getting another Transformers movie. It might not be by Michael Bay, but it is going to be in that original universe. So they're requeling it because it's not a reboot because it's the original one, but they're also ignoring the current reboot because it's not selling well. So I guess they're just gonna go for the Hail Mary on all this shit. I don't even know. I don't even know what the fuck it's going to be. I think it's gonna be terrible.
Movie.
And now the G.I. Joe movie is going to be ass or whatever because they hinted at that in the end of Rise of the Beast or some shit. I don't even know, man. That's going to be terrible. I'm not excited for that in the slightest. Are you guys?
I didn't even know there was a G.I. Joe. I forgot about that.
Who cares?
I
They're probably
forgot,
not
like,
even going to address it in whatever this Endgame Transformers is because Rise of the Beast didn't sell that well. So they're like, oh, no one even saw the post-credit scene anyway. Who cares?
Did it really not make much money in the box office?
It made more money than Transformers 1. So, but like that's not really much to go off of because Transformers 1 made like 3 pennies in a coin. But like not a coin that's worth anything, like one of the like board game coins.
Or like where you spend $1 to get like your own customized penny.
Or like you know the Robert Morris lunch coins, like one of those.
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah.
Oh, the green things.
Yeah, the
That's
green
worth something
coins.
to somebody.
What'd you say?
That's worth something to somebody.
Yeah, so I guess it is. It literally is.
There's like a third party aftermarket, and that's the main form of currency.
I have like 6 of them. So like
I lost all mine.
Really? Do you want them?
No.
$10.
Wow.
The inflation nowadays, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah, whatever. All right, we have to make the last segment quick. So
Yes, very quick. I'm willing to go first.
Go for it.
I really watched nothing. I watched Transformers Day 1. I'm halfway through it still,
Transformers 1.
and I've been that thing. Oh, I was thinking of Quiet Place Day 1.
Yeah.
yeah,
Skylar just
that
didn't do
movie-
the transition at all. That was really weird. And I like
Not
it.
even there yet. Chill
Sorry,
out.
I just jumped right into it.
No, no. Skylar had the perfect opportunity to, and he said, "Go ahead." I was scared. That took me aback.
Horizon a little bit. I'm playing a lot of Rivals right now. I'm trying to get I'm grinding comp a little bit. Gold 2, I think. But I want to get the plat. I think it's be cool to get the plat, maybe diamond. If it don't rage too early. All right, that's it. Pass the popcorn.
Pass the popcorn.
Zach, what have you been watching?
Dude, I'm so happy you said it. I think I would have had an aneurysm if you didn't. Like that was really weird. I didn't like it. I by contractual obligation, I've been playing Marvel Rivals a little bit. I've played a little bit of Black Ops 6, not a whole lot, because I don't feel that contractual obligation anymore. The first contract is not the battle pass. It's because I think the game is fun, so it's like a soul bonding more like instead of a contract. But I I have on my board Castlevania, but that's technically not true because we didn't watch it this week. But I did watch a lot of Inuyasha, and I have a surprise guest from Venom 3 that pulled up last night. Me and my family decided to watch it, and it is the worst one, like, by far. It is terrible.
Really?
I think so. I didn't think there was anything good about it. I did not like it at all. I think the
You're
second
sad.
one is the most enjoyable because they're all, like, about the same length, but the second one just has the most
Like,
garbage
Carnage?
going on. Yeah, the Carnage one. There's just so much stuff that if you just turn off your brain and just accept that none of it makes sense, then it could be, like, somewhat enjoyable. And I just don't feel like that with the third one, especially the third one. This one, can I spoil it? Have you guys seen it?
Right. Not going
No,
to.
but I have a question real quick.
Okay.
Because the end of Let There Be Carnage, they tease another symbiote. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Is that symbiote in this movie?
No, he died.
Okay.
It's the plot of the movie. The plot of the movie. Okay, there's two plots. There's 2.5 about.
Oh, you're telling me there's 2.5 plots and none of them were good? Like,
No,
I
not
really
really.
bad.
Dude, one of them is so bad that even if the other two were great, it wouldn't have mattered. It would have made this movie terrible. Everything with the character Null Chandler that they do in this movie is horrible. It doesn't make any sense, and especially the way Venom reacts to it. There's this. So his whole thing is that, like, Venom has the Codex because he died and then got brought back to life by Venom. Doesn't matter if that makes sense or not. But now he can't turn into full Venom at all. That's the plot of the movie. He's not allowed to, because if he does that, then Null can track him down. Except there's a scene later on in the movie. Both Venom and Tom Hardy know they can't transform, but then they see Mrs. Chen, and Venom's like, I want to personally dance with her. So he then transforms, and obviously the plot goes bad, because obviously it was terrible. It made me really upset. What else did you say about the movie? You asked a question, and I went on that rant.
Like that symbiote from the second movie.
It doesn't
had
matter.
two
He's
symbiotes.
dead. That's the plot of the movie. He dies, and Venom and Eddie Brock was set up for the murder of that guy, and now the U.S. government wants to get him, and so now he wants to travel to New York City because he says that the Statue of Liberty looks pretty.
Holy shit!
Zach,
Damn.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm like half thinking you just made up shit right
No,
now.
I didn't. This is a real movie, and people didn't talk about this. This movie just came out and went under the radar, and it's one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Well, you know what's worse
What?
than the movie being bad?
It made money.
I had a friend who said it was good.
No way, actually.
No, I had. He's still alive. I have a friend who said it was
Who
good.
is it?
You wouldn't know. It's
Okay,
from high school.
That's fair.
but
Terrible.
Uh,
It is
I'm questioning his sanity right now.
the cohesiveness is better than the first one, but like it just actively makes me upset.
Yeah, I don't like whenever my movies do that. So like,
So they hype up these symbiotes. I'm spoiling the entire movie. They hype up these symbiotes. There's like 6 of them, and they're like, oh, these are these extra symbiotes that don't die without a host, but they're like perfect symbiotes. They can host with anyone or whatever the fuck. And then at one point in the movie, they're like, oh, we need to get Eddie Brock. We need to get the 6. We need to bring in the 6. Can you guess what the 6 are?
Are they referring to, like, Vulture?
No, they're referring to 6 unnamed, unidentified soldiers that die immediately. That are nothing at all.
Dude, Sony doing Sony things.
I know,
I'm-
right? It
I'm
was so
impressed it's not
dumb.
worse, actually. I'm impressed it's not worse.
It's terrible. It's honestly like we were sitting there and I honestly said I think this might be worse than Morbius. Like, it's genuinely. Because
I
Morbius,
don't like
Morbius
the
is a
second
worse
film.
movie, but like it's funnier, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well, is it funny because the one extra plot point you added?
Yes, it
to
is.
make it-
But like, you can't do that. I mean, you can. You could be like, "Oh, Venom and Eddie are gay," but like, that's not even funny.
They're just chill like that.
they, it's just a really bad movie. And like, I feel like even Venom lovers can't like it because he's not really Venom for any scene. Granted, the scene where he dances with Mrs. Chen is very awesome, and I love that. But like, the reason why he's dancing with Mrs. Chen is horrible.
Yeah, he forgot the plot of the movie.
Literally.
But
No,
then
no. Eddie
they-
told him. Eddie was like, "Don't do it," and he was like, I'm gonna do it," and then he did it.
And so, like, because of that, Null's able to track him.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, bro, that's so stupid.
I don't.
Like that's just not even a flaw in the plot because it wasn't on accident. Like they didn't accidentally goof. They purposefully goofed.
Yeah. They I think it was just Tom Hardy's and the director or whatever, Andy Serkis's excuse just to make a lot of money.
See, I don't understand how they can make money. Is it because it's Venom?
No. The only people that make money from ticket sales are like the executives. 9 times out of 10, it's very rare that people who like do the movie itself get percentage of that money. They get paid up front. That's where like the budget comes from. So like Tom Hardy probably got like $15 million up front.
Okay, but you said the box office was right, or
It probably
good
was
for it.
fine, yeah. Like I think it wasn't bad, if I'm being honest. I didn't really pay attention to it because I was like, I don't really want to see this, and I think I made a good choice with that. But I had to watch it eventually. I just had to.
You know, I'm curious if there's any data on like ticket sales, and of those sales, which ones are like, not duplicate tickets, but like it's not the
Repeats
first time they.
accounts or
Yes.
something.
Yes.
I hope
wonder if there's
no
data on
one
that.
saw that movie multiple times. I hope they
Well, I'm
saw
just
it
curious,
once and
like-
realized their mistake.
Or could they have gotten? I don't know.
Chandler, we have to make we can't talk about Venom for the rest
Yeah.
of the episode. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Sky.
Sky.
What have you been watching?
So not
I'm so glad you both
We're
asked.
getting there. We're getting there.
So I'm still watching One Piece. I'm now on 1032. I just went through the first filler that I've had in a minute. I don't know if I can say or I don't know.
Is
I'm
there
just not gonna
filler?
say. Yeah, there was 2 episodes.
Oh damn! Really?
Did you not skip those?
Yeah, it was just about like Luffy as a kid. I'm just gonna leave it
Oh
at
yeah, from the movie,
Yeah.
the One Piece Red thing. You actually watched that
that. What do you mean?
with Yuta?
Oh,
Or Uta.
yeah, she was in the filler,
Yeah.
but yeah,
That's
I did,
filler
'cause
that
I didn't.
connects into the movie One Piece Red.
That's good that I did then because I was like, well, I didn't know it was like I finished the one episode and I was like, oh, that was definitely filler, and I'm like, okay, let me see what the next one is, and I was like, oh, it's only one more. Well, I'm already halfway through the filler. I might as well just finish the filler. So then I just,
wouldn't
like,
feel
did
that
it.
way. I would just skip it.
So
But that's fair.
I
You're
watched-
commendable.
I watched the one. I guess I watched both of them episodes of filler while I was doing homework. So I was like, if I miss anything, it's filler.
That's
If
fair,
I
yeah.
catch anything cool, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So, did that. Now I'm on 1032, and I'm still reading Black Book when I'm at the gym. Whenever I
He's dying. He's dying.
gotta get out.
Performing CPR on screen.
Okay, continue, Sky. Sorry, your Wi-Fi was dying. We had to perform CPR.
I believe it. The next thing I kind of started, which might catch you by surprise, is I started a show while I do homework because, well, I've been having a lot of homework
Not
recently.
while you go to
particularly
sleep like
this
me and
week.
Chan.
But
Not while you go to sleep like me and Chan.
no, I'm not a demon.
I've been pausing it before going to bed because I'm kind of invested, even though I've seen it already. I'm just like, oh, this show's fucking fire, dude.
So, I've been having like a lot of homework, and I'm like, like cannot focus if there is like not something.
Mm-hmm. No,
Like
get
I just
that,
need
get that.
something for like even like
Preach it to the choir.
a little bit of, like I just need like a little bit of a break every now and then. So I'll just peek up. It's so much better than just looking at my phone because I'm on it too long. But I started watching Tokyo Ghoul. I started watching Tokyo Ghoul. I have like a couple minutes left in episode 7, but I am flying through it because I just have it on in the background, so I just pick next and like next, and honestly, it's not that bad. I actually think it's pretty good.
They don't
But I'm on
have
the
the
first
cool
season,
stuff,
and the
though.
first season is like almost 1-to-1, almost. But season 2 is kind of where I'm like, oh, I don't know what happens whenever I get here.
But they
But
also skip out on stuff. Like, they don't give the detective his berserker armor. You haven't got there yet, but whenever you
yeah, I
do
was
get
gonna say, I
there,
don't think I
you'll be
got there.
like, man, I'm going to be disappointed in that because I remember how cool that was.
No, I just keep seeing Jason do this, and it just gives me flashbacks to like one of my favorite panels ever.
Yeah.
But
Tokyo Ghoul is great. I gotta
Um,
reread that eventually.
and then I'm still watching Solo Leveling. I am caught up. I still need to pick up Daima, but now is not the time. I need to like sit down and actually focus on it, but I need free time for that, and I do not have free time this week. Like this is my free time.
Hell yeah, bro.
But
Love that.
um,
Dude, imagine when you
yeah,
start
but-
studying.
Yeah. That's me right now, bro.
Dude, it
well-
might be a duo podcast, me and Chan, dude, when Sky has to study.
well, the thing is, I don't have like a ton of undergrad classes left. I'm primarily just my masters,
Right.
and those masters are completely online, so they're just like papers and projects.
Do you
Stuff.
have any
So I
classes
have,
on
like-
campus?
Huh?
Do you have a class on campus at all?
Yeah, I'm in campus every day.
Well, I thought you said they were all online. Sorry.
No, my masters are all online,
Okay.
but I still have 3 undergrad classes, and one of them is giving a test this week.
Oof.
Like over the weekend, which is terrible because obviously it's Valentine's weekend, which is Zach's birthday, Lily's birthday, and Valentine's Day all in one.
Wait,
Yeah.
So 3
Wait,
out of
can I-
like the 6 holidays I
and
celebrated
friend
this
of the
weekend.
podcast. Right?
Michael.
Yeah.
He's tomorrow.
Yeah.
Who's the 12th? Who's the 13th?
Me.
You. And then Lily.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I knew we were
sometimes-
forgetting one when Scott said that.
Yeah. I feel like I'm just gonna mix up one of them, but I will not.
It's
forget.
okay.
Um,
I always, there's so many people in February, I forget it all the time.
but you know, it's been one of those weeks where every time I finish 2 assignments, I go to class and I get 3 more. It's just been that week. You
get
gotta hope
those
it
in
stops.
man.
But sadly, well, actually, I've been playing Rivals, just not much. Like maybe in the last week, I have like 3 hours, 4 hours.
Fire.
And then, the gym. That's it. That's my stress relief. It's a good break up in the middle of my day.
I forgot something.
Oh,
I started reading. This is not Miles's original run. This is his second run. So, Miles was in Ultimate Spider-Man, which was like a reboot of the Marvel comics, and then eventually, they did like a bigger reboot where they rebooted the actual Marvel comics and got rid of the Ultimates, but they took the characters from the Ultimate Universe that were popular and brought them into the normal 616, and that's what this is. This is Miles's first run in 616. So there's 2 Spider-Man. It's all about Miles, but it follows like how he reacts to there being another Spider-Man, and it's really good so far. I like it. I know I have read this run before, and I'm pretty confident that it kind of falls off a cliff a little bit towards the end of it, but I do like it so far, so I guess we'll see.
hey,
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe.
Maybe it's fire.
I forgot some news.
Yes.
Speaking of Spider-Man, they're already working on Spider-Man 3. Insomniac. That is.
Oh, the game. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they have been working on that. They just are adjusting due to them being upsetty spaghetti at all the leaks, and they canceled a multiplayer Spider-Man game, and they're possibly canceling a Venom video game, and they're reworking Spider-Man 3 because Spider-Man 2 performed not as good as they wanted it to be, but also it performed not as good as they wanted it to be because they gave them insane crunch. It just sucks. I wish that game was better. I wish it had DLC at all. Also, I'm pretty sure they had all the DLC canceled because they got leaked, which is stupid. Yeah.
That's why.
Well, not. That's why we didn't get
I mean,
any DLC.
I know it sucked.
That's why
It
we
got
got like.
leaked.
I think
But,
there was
like-
only they leaked like 5 DLC, but I think only like 2 were actually going to come out. But I think they're not releasing those because they got leaked or something. It's the world we live in.
About that.
It really is.
Yeah, so true. All right, we said we weren't going to make this long. We're over an hour already, hour 10. Are we ready to wrap it up? Does everyone have their corals out?
My
Yes,
corals
but you
are
guys do
done.
something kind of cool. I wanted to do a mini show and tell.
Okay.
I got this new chapstick yesterday.
Yes.
Look at the size of this thing. It's
What the
Whoa.
fuck?
you can't really tell, but it's just much bigger, and it's like Dr. Squatch. I just had to show it
I'm
off.
not a fan of Dr. Squatch, not gonna lie.
It's my first product of theirs. Never used their soap or anything.
Their
but
deodorant's terrible.
really?
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah, but Kyle likes their soap.
Fire soap, but it goes away fast.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
I
it's like a
prefer soap
bar.
right now.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Sorry, mini rant over.
Mini rant over.
I
I was
just-
gonna
I
say
just like my
something
top- I
related
like
to
my
that. I
top.
just don't remember what it was. Ah, damn it. Okay. Well, doesn't matter. If I forgot it, it wasn't all that important. All right,
Okay.
all corals are out. I guess we'll see you guys next week with a movie I haven't seen yet. The remaining movies of this month I haven't seen yet, but I really want to see. I guess you guys see it. Well, you guys will see it next week. All right.
Yeah.
See ya.
All right, bye, have a great time.